Hello, my name is James Walker. I'm president of Watchman Fellowship, an apologetics Christian organization. I'm also co-founder of the Atheist Christian Book Club, a monthly gathering of atheists and Christians looking at important books from both perspectives. With me today is Tim McGrew. Tim McGrew is, tell me about yourself. You're chair of the philosophy department
at Western Michigan University, right.
In Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo, Michigan, up in the land of snow and ice.
And we're here in New Orleans right now, actually. We're both speakers at Defend at New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary, Apologetics Conference. And Tim was gracious enough for our book club. We recently looked at the book, Jesus Interrupted by Bart Ehrman. And we usually try to have, when our club meets together, atheists and Christians, we try to have a little video greeting from the author of the book in discussion and maybe take some pre-questions from the book from the group. Bart Ehrman was not available, unfortunately, to be able to do that. But Tim has had some interesting radio debates with Bart Ehrman and was very familiar as a Christian apologist with the topic of Jesus Interrupted and was gracious enough to come on and be interviewed for our book club, and I think had some pretty interesting things to say about the book.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure to do that.
Well, Tim's going to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in March the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. He's going to be with Nancy Piercy and others as well at the Apologetics Conference at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary in Fort Worth. And I've imposed upon Tim, while you're in town, our book club would, I think, love to spend an evening with you and be able to talk with you, ask some questions of you. And now that I got you on the spot, would you be willing to do that?
Texas hospitality is hard to turn down. I think I'll be able to make that.
Excellent. So what we're doing, we're going to have a special meeting of the book club. It won't be the first Friday this time. It will be Friday, March 23rd. And we'll be meeting at the Watchman Fellowship offices in Arlington. We'll have our meal at 6 p.m. and meeting at 7 p.m. The meal's free, but we do need you to RSVP for that. And I've asked Tim if he would share with us for a few minutes, mostly to take questions, but we talked about just maybe 2 or 3 items in Bart Ehrman's book, but there's some other issues that we didn't have time to address. What do you feel like in Bart's Ehrman book, Dr. Ehrman's book, Jesus Interrupted, was his best case, the best point that he made about the Gospels are really not reliable account of Jesus?
That is an interesting question. So I'm going to preface this by saying, in order to make a statement like the Gospels are unreliable, historically unreliable, you really need to do more than just point out one mistake. One error will get you past a certain kind of, say, inerrancy, a certain view of inspiration. But if you really want to attack them as documents you can't rely on in an ordinary historical sense, you need to have multiple strong examples. And Bart has multiple examples. He's got this great cataract of them in the chapter entitled A World of Contradictions. The problem is most of those either don't stand up to scrutiny or end up being such small beans that by the time that you look at them, you're saying, wow, who would care? In ordinary secular history, these would not amount to anything. If you want to know what I think his best one is, I would probably pick the claim that John deliberately changed the date of the crucifixion. There are evangelical scholars who would actually agree with Bart on that one, so it's not a trivial case. I think that one's interesting. It's got some moving parts that are worth looking into. So if I had to sort of give him the chance to put his best foot forward, I would suggest that he lead with that one.
I know this is not, you can't really do it justice in 20 minutes or something, but maybe you could just start off by taking about maybe 20 minutes or so and just unpack that one issue. We didn't really get to deal with it at the book club, and if this is his best foot forward, maybe we can come back and revisit it and take a look at that. What are his arguments, Bart Ehrman's arguments, and then what are some possible responses to that. But then what I like to do, if you're open to it, is after maybe 20 minutes of unpacking that for us, if you could just give us, Christians and atheists, a chance to just say, open mic, any question. And we've had, this will be now 1 year that we've had the book club, and I've been able to hear, I feel like, some of the best arguments against Christianity. Mm-hmm. And we've had some chances to make some points ourselves with our atheist friends. But it still leaves a lot of questions. Every book club, we have people hanging around for an hour trying to shoo them out, but it's because the discussion keeps going. Would you be open to that?
So you're talking about like a stump the chump kind of thing? Sure, why not? I'm up for it.
So give me some ideas of some of the topics. Of course, there's going to be any topics open, but what would be some of the kind of things that might be interesting kind of questions to ask?
Right. Well, I'm very familiar with Bart's book. So if you want to go through questions from that, you can jump around in that, start anywhere, ask anything. That would be fine. And then, if you say open mic, open questions, you get what you ask for. So I am assuming that there will be some things coming that I will not see coming, and that's all right.
Great. Well, I really appreciate, Tim, you being willing to take your time for that, and I'm excited, looking forward to that. I want to invite you you need to RSVP, so go to www.atheistchristianbookclub.com. I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks.